This is the regular meeting of the Labor and Economic Development Committee for Tuesday, May 6th, 2025, a day that will go down in infamy for all of the grandeur of the people born on this day. It is now 3:03. I am Committee Chair Ben Reno Weber. This meeting is being held pursuant to KRS 61826 and Council Rule 5A. I am Chair Ben Reno Weber, and I am joined by my Vice Chair, Crystal Bast, by Councilman Ken Herndon, by Councilwoman Dr. Paula McCraney, by Councilman Andrew Owen, by Councilmember Stuart Benson, and by Councilmember Khalil Batshan. There is no one joining us virtually. All right. So we do have a public speaker here today. And so we will allot 3 minutes. Mr. Stan Moore, will you please come and join us and introduce yourself? Oh, sorry. My script is out of order here. I apologize. All right. So item number 1, public hearing pursuant to Louisville Metro Code of Ordinances 160.02G for the Louisville Downtown Development District. Do I have a motion?
Motion second.
Motion and... No? All right. All right. Mr. Moore, will you introduce yourself for the record?
Thank you. My name is Stan Moore. I'm here to speak on behalf of the bid and the Louisville Downtown Partnership. And first of all, I'll start off by saying a happy birthday, Councilman Reno Weber. Saying that's today.
It is.
And also, I'll let everybody know I am very biased on this subject because I've been a board member for about 7 years. And there's a reason I'm a board member because I'm very proud of what we do. I think we make a huge impact downtown. I think it's important that we continue to get the support from Metro Council. You know, I live downtown. I live in the bid. I work in the bid. I own property in the bid, and I definitely play in the bid. So I have the opportunity to speak to a lot of people and see a lot of people that are visitors downtown. And it's an overwhelming confidence of the shape of our downtown. I attribute a lot of that to what we do with our ambassadors, the continual cleanup, the new entertainment venues that we're providing. And if you see, we definitely still have some warts, but I can't imagine what it would be like without the Downtown Partnership. And if you ever doubt that statement, take a look at some blocks that directly surround where the bid is, and you'll see the impact that we make. So again, I hope that you will continue to support Little Downtown Partnership in the bid as you have in the past, and we'll continue to do our job. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. Also here to speak to this is Executive Director of the Louisville Downtown. Oh, no?
That's the end of this public hearing. She'll do the part for the item number 2. I should have looked at you. I didn't. We're all learning.
We're all learning. Okay.
That
That closes
closes the public hearing.
the public hearing. Second item on our agenda, item number 2, 0101-25, an ordinance expanding and establishing the boundaries for the Louisville Downtown Management District.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Here to speak to this, I believe, is the fabulous Executive Director of the Louisville Downtown Partnership, Ms. Rebecca Fleischaker.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Vice Chair. Members of the committee, I'm Rebecca Fleischaker. I'm Executive Director of Louisville Downtown Partnership, and we're here to talk about expanding the bid. So a couple of acronyms I just want to explain right out of the gate. You all know us as Louisville Downtown Partnership, LDP. That's an umbrella organization which includes Louisville Downtown Management District. That's what we name the Business Improvement District. It's the same thing. And Downtown Development Corporation, which is a nonprofit, not related to city government at all. So just wanted to clarify those names that we use. So our mission, LDMD's mission, basically is to promote and grow downtown and to create a better quality of life and keeping it clean, safe, and beautiful. We've been in existence since 1991. We were the first bid in Kentucky. Lexington now also has a bid. And the reason that LDMD and DDC came together under that umbrella of Louisville Downtown Partnership is because they inform each other. How we use a clean, safe, beautiful downtown to attract investors, developers, employers, hoteliers, visitors, residents, etc. We need each other to get that work done. So what do we do? The most visible thing that you see through our downtown management district is the ambassadors and the money that we use to pay them. These are full-time paid jobs. I still get the question, are they volunteers? They are not volunteers. It is not easy work necessarily. They are paid. And they are the ones who clean up sidewalks, graffiti, biohazards, needles, things that, and then also provide a very welcoming presence to people who are on the street. Just by their mere presence, this is a safety addition to our downtown space. The reason that this was included or created in the first place was because we decided back in the 90s that downtown is a special place. It is a place that needs extra attention because of what we're trying to build here in terms of being a neighborhood for everyone and how we can attract people here. This is our team today. This is twice as big as it was 2 years ago. This is something that we have done through generous donations, through Metro, so thank you, and through Humana and Louisville Tourism. We want to keep this number up. We're at about 36 full-time ambassadors. The actual assessments on the bid, from the bid, only brings in enough money to pay about 14 or 15 ambassadors. So what we're trying to do is build those numbers so that we can have more presence in the Business Improvement District, which provides more cleaning services, more hospitality services. And let me just say, what our ambassadors are doing is considered supplemental services. We do not do what your property taxes pay for. We cannot do, actually by law, anything that your property taxes pay for. We're not repaving roads. We're not fixing sidewalks. We're not putting in new lights or fixing lights. That is squarely a city service. We are doing everything that's supplemental to that to make sure that you know that you're in an area that is being taken care of and that is being welcoming, and it is that extra level of service that we're trying to expand. Our ambassadors are on the street 7 days a week, 7 a.m. to midnight. That did change with the doubling of the size. Before that, it was 7 to 7, only 3 or 4 nights a week. Can't remember now. And it was 7 to 10 the other 3 nights of the week. So we're able to do a lot more because of having grown this. I would like to grow it more, but that's a whole nother discussion for a different day. This map is the existing Business Improvement District. This is a wonky map, but you'll notice that on the west side, at the north end, we've got Main Street that goes to 12th. We did agree to do underpass cleaning, which is the east wing, so we've got like wings on the sides. Those were added in 2017, but the central part from 9th and Floyd that then comes in on Liberty Street to 2nd to 7th is what was created in the 1990s. The medical center, most of which is nonprofit, they don't pay property tax, so it was non-assessable. That's why we didn't go there. And then west of 7th Street is a lot of public government-owned buildings, which is also why we didn't go over there. So that's why it looks the way it looks. It's kind of a strange shape. In addition to litter cleanup and graffiti abatement and biohazard cleanup, we also do weed and leaf abatement. We do that year-round. Spring, weed abatement, a leaf abatement is a very large part of what we do. Actually, that season has grown longer with, if we dare say, climate change. Leaves are falling for longer, and we want trees, so that we're not complaining about that, but it's just a lot of our work. And when we do have snow, we remove at the intersections of the sidewalks, the ramps, and also help out TARC with their stations sometimes. Here's some ambassadors at work. We just like to show off what they do. They're always in orange shirts. In the winters, they are in blue parkas with orange stripes, but we've got some nice equipment that they are able to use. We're always trying out the equipment. The company we contract with, Block by Block, is actually headquartered in Louisville. They're in about 150 cities, so we're very lucky that when they want to try out something new, they do it here. And then they can either say, pivot, we didn't like that, we're going to do something else, or they actually will then take equipment out to their other cities to use there. So they call us a lab, which we are happy to take advantage of. Here are some stats. Just for this is the calendar year of 2024. All the touches and things that they are doing, what they're picking up off the street. So biohazardous materials includes body waste and needles. Graffiti tags can be stickers or it could be paint or markers. Litter, we're picking up litter all the time. Actually, I pick up litter all the time. I would love to be able to educate people about not littering, but because people don't know that, that's what we do a lot of. We were able to add with the Metro Money a safety team, which is in on the clock 3 p.m. to midnight. That is mainly just an extra added presence. They're a little bit more assertive looking. They look more like security guards than the friendly hospitality ambassadors. But that does include also 2 outreach people, a team of 10, and those 2 outreach people actually work during the day, but they're the ones who are working with other homeless services providers to make sure we're talking to people on the street and trying to get them referrals to services and to shelter, which we've actually done quite a bit of. We're really proud of that. Hospitality assistants and business contacts, constantly saying hello and trying to greet people and make sure people know that they are welcome in downtown. So a lot of what we work on, besides what the ambassadors are doing, is how we make downtown look and feel good. And a lot of that is through activations and placemaking. Councilman Herndon knows all of this work very well because he did some of this work for us for many years. But I'm just going to run through some of this so that you can see what we've done. If you haven't walked the streets of downtown, hopefully you're familiar with these things anyway. But we've got about 750 banners up on light poles throughout downtown. Most of the bid is covered in these. This was a way to add color down the street so that people could see not only where you are, but our pride and what we take in our downtown. Flower pots is a sponsored program for the most part, but we do pay for about 40 flower pots a year so that we can try to grow the program, and that is a program we're always trying to grow. And then this past year, we introduced what we call cigarette butt bins, which is where you put the cigarette butts. So please, if you're going to smoke, you shouldn't. But if you're going to smoke, put the butts not on the ground, but in these bins. Our ambassadors empty them, and actually we send those back to, who do we send them to? TerraCycle, and they recycle the butt bins and make actually cool things out of them that can be used on the streets. We also were very instrumental in getting engineering done for the underpass lighting. The funding of it came from you guys, so thanks again for that, but this was something that we've been working on for a couple of years. Main Street and Market Street are lit, and we are working now on planning and design engineering on Jefferson and Jackson Streets. If you have walked by Aegon Plaza, a plaza on 4th Street, right on Jefferson, you'll notice some interesting, fun, these are actually human-powered pieces of temporary public art. This is, I think, the 4th or 5th installation. Every 6 weeks or so, we are changing it over. These were originally created for a Taylor Swift Eras Tour in Vancouver. So if you want to go play with sunglasses or a lipstick or a guitar, you crank it and it plays a Taylor Swift song. They've been extremely popular. And then on the bottom right, we've got our street gallery and alley gallery programs where we have taken artwork, reproduced it onto vinyl, and covered otherwise boring gray or black utility doors or alley doors or the traffic signalization boxes, which are on every single corner. The guts of the streetlights are in those boxes. You have to have them. How can we make them a little bit more of a whimsical pop of color and something of interest? Let's see. We have a City Spot program. Most of these are also sponsored, but we have put money into these as well. On the left is the Bark Park. This is between Brown Hotel on the left there and Theater Marketplace on the right. This was the old trolley turnaround, if you're familiar with that. It was a kind of forgotten about concrete space that was nothing, and we were able to plant some grass, landscaping, get a really nice mural on that north wall, seating, and of course doggy waste stations so that people have a way to dispose of their pet waste, which actually in this space they do. It's very nice. And then the City Spot right outside Metro Hall, on the other side of Metro Hall from here on 5th Street. This is a program really that Bingham Fellows created to create spaces that not only improve our public realm, but create spaces where you can hang out. So we have meetings out there. People grab their lunch and catch up on email or run into a friend. It's a really nice space. Also taken care of. You know that you're meant to be there and be able to hang out there. And then on the right is where it's still in development. We have the mural on the wall. We're working on mural on the ground. We've added some flower pots there, and we're going to add some seating and another surprise that we'll be announcing next week. But how do we beautify? How do we activate, create interest, whimsy, color in places that otherwise would just be boring gray spaces? And why do we do all this? Downtown is a critical space in downtown. I think all of you have heard me talk about this before, why downtown is so important to our entire city and region. It's the largest job center in the city. It is the third largest tax revenue producing area in the state, behind the cities of Louisville and Lexington. We're trying to grow our residents. We want there to be more residential opportunity. That is really what's going to create that pedestrian activity and life experience of 18-hour, 24-hour experience. And we want it to stay the business, cultural, and entertainment hub that it is for the region. It is the one place where you can find anything to do. It is what we call everyone's neighborhood. And we want everyone to be able to feel at home here, too. All right, so I wanted to run through our budget really quickly. So you can see in our revenues, they've gone up dramatically because of the gifts from gifts from Humana, Louisville Tourism, and Metro. Our assessments, which is basically a portion, it's based on your property value. It is right now 8.31 cents per $100 of assessed value. That is automatically collected on your property tax bill by the sheriff, and that is sent to us. So the contracts for services is in addition to the assessments. Right now, if we were only dealing with the assessments and we didn't have the fee in lieu that Metro pays, Kentucky Lottery pays it, Louisville Water pays it, anybody else?
That also includes the Metro Humana Tourism Ambassador.
Right. And then also just the three that I mentioned before. If we didn't have that, we would only be looking at 14 or 15 ambassadors in downtown. That's what that $1.7 million is. That's what comes off of those assessments. And then you can see how we spend it. At least 70% of what we're spending, if not more, is toward what you see on the street and what your experience is on the street. It's really important to us to put as much money out into the public as possible. That is why we exist. So what we're talking about today is where we can expand this activity. So we would like the shaded areas are what we are looking at. That northeast corner is Slugger Field and Angel's Envy for the most part. Slugger Field did not exist, by the way, when the bid was created. Otherwise, it probably would have been. We have a lot of public that go in there, in and out of there for events all during the year, but for baseball games as well. And Angel's Envy is very interested in having this, as well as this little sliver, it's a block and a half, I guess, on 2nd Street. It's across the street from the Omni. If you walk out of the Omni, you will see that the street across the street does not look like the sidewalk that you're on, simply because you have to end somewhere, and that's where it ends. And so we're trying to expand it so that we can actually meet LUMED. So LUMED, when it was created, we left a gap in the middle unknowingly. This is what their area was. And so we got together with them. That shaded green area is where they have come over a little bit further to meet us, and then we want to meet them. And that is what we're bringing in front of you today. Here's our board of directors. That is required by ordinance to include with our information, just so you can see who is on our board. And that is my presentation. I'm happy to take any questions.
Thank you so much. I love the way the passion with which you speak about this, and the idea that this is everyone's neighborhood. I had lunch in that pop-up area
Awesome.
today. Thank you, Bingham Fellows.
Yes.
I'm certainly grateful for all the work that the ambassadors do. I note our presence here of the new director of LEDA, Trevor Paul. Speaking of sleeping giants that we never talk about in Louisville, block by block in 150 cities, 5,000 employees. We never talk about what a Louisville success story that is.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you so much. I will note, please note that we have been joined by Councilwoman Donna Purvis, who is first in our queue. Councilwoman.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Ms. Fleischaker, thank you for being here. I had a question trying to figure out which way you were going, but I figured it out in your presentation.
Okay.
I just wanted to know, as business plans go further west, at some point in time, will you all look at expanding, going a few blocks west and maybe a few blocks south in the future?
Oh, we can always look at that. There is a required petition process to get the properties that are affected. We have a threshold for number of property owners and amount of property value. So if there are particular properties you're thinking of, let me know, and let's look at that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Councilwoman Dr. Paula McCraney.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Hi, Rebecca. Good to see you.
Hello, good to see you too.
Thank you for your presentation. I was very interested in how you repurposed the doors and the black spaces, and it was beautiful artwork, and it does capture the eye. I'm wondering, how do you bid that out, the artwork, or do you, or are there certain artists that are in the queue, per se, per year?
We put out a call for art. We've done that a couple of times, actually. So before I took the job, Councilman Herndon had done that, put out a call for art. When he came back, when I took the job, we put out another call for art. And yet again, we have a new placemaking manager, and we have put out another call for art. We don't want to get too ahead of ourselves because we don't have enough places to put all the art we have. So we do have a library that is actually pretty robust, it's got a lot of really pretty stuff in it, and we'd love to be able to put it in more places. We do have it, I don't know if you've noticed, we put them on, when we boarded up, when there were boarded up windows and doorways, we used some of this art to put that up. There's some on the Kentucky Home Life building on the Jefferson Street side, on the stairwell that used to go down to Spinelli's. We covered that up with some art, trying to just get some more, kind of to your point, like just eye-catching, something beautiful. I don't like seeing boards up, but sometimes they're necessary. So if you have to have the boards, how can you make them better?
And may I, while you're here, could you take an opportunity to just speak to the public and let them know that downtown is thriving? Some people in the eastern part of Jefferson County believe that we're still boarded up downtown.
Thank you, Councilwoman McCraney. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I would be happy to say that downtown is indeed thriving. I will, again, I volunteered to take anybody on a tour if anybody wants a walking tour. We added dozens of new businesses to downtown last year. We had 11 new offices open that came from other places in Louisville that chose downtown, which to me is walking the talk, because they want to be part of what they're seeing here. Not only does it put more feet on the street, more pedestrian activity, and get more things going, but it makes more people want to be around where other people are. And there is safety in numbers. We see at the events that we have where there are people, the bad actors are staying away. That's not where we're seeing the bad activity. Downtown is very safe. We look at monthly, we get reports from LMPD. We work extremely closely with Downtown Area Patrol all the way up to the chief's office. And we know that the crime stats show that downtown has only 4 to 5% of all crime in Louisville, Jefferson County. Thank you.
And that is a remarkable number given the amount of traffic. Was 100,000 people per day? How many people come downtown?
I don't have the daily number,
Sorry.
Councilman, but it's like 36.5 million in a year. We can do the math.
I think it's 100,000 live here, work here, or do business here a day, a business day. I believe that's correct.
I just remember it from your presentation. Sorry, Councilman Owen.
Thank you, Chair. So I'm going to say, because I have a microphone in front of me, and I always say this, is that we have a challenge in front of us with downtown as it relates to the amount of square feet we have in office space. And I will also say that as a person who's in commercial real estate, I don't ever see the demand for commercial office space ever returning. But that's a challenge, but it's also an enormous opportunity.
Amen.
And downtown can be better than it has ever been before, because at its height, whenever that was, in 30s, 40s, 50s, whenever that was, it was an 8 to 5 neighborhood.
Right.
At its best, right? And we have an opportunity, if we can expand and transition some of these office buildings into more residential, we can do exactly what you talked about during your presentation, which is create an 18, 24-hour-a-day dynamic neighborhood. So I'm not, whistling past the graveyard and saying we don't have some challenges, but I would prefer to focus on the opportunity rather than the challenge, and you did that in your presentation, and I appreciate that. That's number one. Number two, you talked a little bit when Councilwoman Purvis asked about petition. Mm-hmm. What we're voting on today with expanding this boundary, is that the first step and then there's a petition, or has the petition already been done and we're voting to approve that change in the boundary?
The petition has been done. We have submitted 4 petitions that meet that threshold for the number of property owner or percentage of property owners and percentage of property value. when you vote on it, then it goes back, basically, you've approved the expansion of the bid.
Okay, that's perfect. I just wanted that
Yeah.
clarification. I also wanted to commend both you guys and the LUMED people for closing that gap. I was one of the questions I was going to ask while you were early in the presentation. So I think that's
Thank you.
obviously the right thing to do, and I commend both of those organizations for working together to get that done. And finally, I want to give another shout out to the ambassadors. We cannot have, it is such an amazing presence
Yeah.
downtown. I don't think we can fully appreciate what that does for both locals and visitors alike. The work that they do, but also just the calming presence
Yeah.
they provide. And I just wanted to say that out loud as well and commend you
you.
guys for that program. It's fantastic.
Thank you. The amount of written communication that we've gotten from people who've experienced that hospitality dramatically increased after we doubled the numbers, just because they were more visible. You can see more. And I'm greedy. I want more. Like, I think we need at least 50, but again, we're going to have to get there, so. And I do want to, if I can take this opportunity to respond to the residential conversation, it is my number one goal for at least the next 5 years that we do create more opportunities for residential conversions and also new builds. We've got surface parking lots, way too many. I got to speak well here. And can we put the tools in place that would make sense for developers to actually take advantage of that? I do think there were some changes that got made in the statute this past session in Frankfurt that will help. And there is a residential conversion fund that came to the city from the state's $100 million for downtown. I'd love to see more. We got 18 applications for that small pot of money. By the way, $100 million for 6 different projects. Let me be clear, residential conversion fund was just one of them. So we're waiting to hear what those are going to be, but we got 18 applications showing a very high level of interest from people who have to work hard to do that. So I'm really heartened by seeing some progress there.
Point of order, quick response. We're also within planning and zoning working on some things that will hopefully streamline the process in the land development code that will help both along our transportation corridors, but also with surface parking lots and other places downtown. So I think if we're all kind of pushing in the same direction, I think we can be more effective.
We should all be pushing in the same direction.
Jackie Green, if you're watching at home, you heard surface parking lots twice. Just want to be clear, and I'll say it a third time. It's like Beetlejuice, surface parking lots. We're working on it.
Email in your inbox right now.
Councilwoman Vice Chair Best.
Hi, thank you.
Hi, thank you.
I just wanted to say thank you all for beautifying the city. I would love to see in the future that we could expand that into other areas of the city and outside the Waterson. But I've been in the areas where the ambassadors are, and I love that program and think it's really amazing and to see them in action. And I'm a little jealous because I would love to be able to find a way in the future to expand that to other districts where we could utilize that.
Okay.
But thank you for all y'all do.
Yeah, and I'm happy to work with any neighborhood association, business association, if it's, usually they have to be contiguous, so if it's not part of us, we can help provide information or expertise, how you do that. They're not easy to create, by the way.
Great, thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Councilman Herndon.
I am somewhat familiar with this organization.
Just a little.
In case you don't know, I worked there for 25 total years, both as an employee and as a contractor. It was a great pleasure to do so. Personally oversaw these wonderful ambassadors for 16 of those years. They are great, great people that work in all times of day and night and weather, and it's now an honor to know that this district is in my district, and I look forward to working with you in every way, including land development code, other issues that Councilman Owen and I talked at some length about how we can make that better and faster, and just look forward to that very much. Councilwoman McCraney, just also want you to know on the Alley Gallery program, those are all local artists from Metro Louisville, every single one. Every single piece of art you see out there is from local artists. That was a focus that we that we made sure happened. And then Block by Block is a great success story. They did not do cleaning when I first started, way back in the day, and we talked them into doing it, and now they have become the largest provider of those particular services in the nation with 150 cities. They were born here, grown here, and they are still headquartered here. Very proud to have that be the case as well. And just thank you, Rebecca and Stan and Frank, having worked with you before until last August.
Yeah.
And also Jessica, Miss Shipson and I, but I just look forward to continuing to work with them in a new capacity and growing the organization, growing downtown, and advocating for everything, all the good work we're doing down here. So I, of course, strongly encourage you to vote for this legislation. So.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Batchon.
Mr. Chair, thank you. Ms. Fleischaker, thank you for everything you do. Team, thank you all for your work, and I really appreciate it. I have a question in regards to the tax funding that you received from the Sheriff's Department. Was it 0.0831 cents per?
$100 of assessed value.
Per $100.
Are you gonna
And
make me
is
do the
that
math?
from a targeted specific demographic of Jefferson County, or like the urban services district or downtown alone, or from the entire
No.
Jefferson County?
It's only inside of that bid. It's
Okay.
only inside of the,
I needed the
geography.
clarification on that, so yeah, thank you.
oh my gosh, it'd be amazing if we could get.
I was like, I got a little concerned there because I didn't catch only the bid part.
Yeah,
so.
that is the purpose of it, that you're basically paying an extra level of money for an extra level of service. And it's very legally, geographically defined.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Councilwoman Bast.
I just had a follow-up question off of, so the art that you all do can that be implemented in other areas, or is that basically just fall in between those?
No, we could do the art in other areas. Our ambassadors could not, but if it is paid for, those are all sponsored. So if you had anybody, property owner that wanted to pay for that, that's something we could definitely do.
Okay, thank you.
Councilman Herndon.
Having been part of the creation of that program, I can be happy to work with you to let you know the details of how that might work outside of the district. It's not that difficult, but just have to plan it, but it's good.
Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, this is an item requiring a roll call vote.
Voting is open. Chair Renover, you have 8 yes votes.
Excellent. This item will be sent to the consent calendar.
Aren't I here another committee meeting? Don't I have to come to another committee meeting? I think it has to be heard at 2 different committee meetings.
I think you have to have 2 public hearings, but
Oh, well, then we shouldn't have heard it today. If you don't want it passed out, we can reconsider it.
I'll let Jason Fowler tell us more.
Good afternoon, Jason Fowler, Assistant County Attorney. Under the ordinance, there is a publication requirement that must take place before the ordinance is adopted. Usually that can occur between now and full council. So if that's the case, it can go forward with the consent calendar. If we have not yet accomplished that publication, we'll need a second committee.
We met that.
we did do the publication.
Yep.
Okay, can you say that one more time, just with slower, so I make sure I'm following? We need to have if we have had, just say that again.
So there's a requirement under the statute for the hearing to be published, what's happening to be published in the newspaper twice.
Got it. Okay.
It sounds like that's occurred.
Okay,
It did happen twice.
brilliant,
So because that's happened, it can go forward now.
brilliant.
Great.
Thank you. Okay. Whew. Dodged a, no, we didn't. All right, onward we move. The next item on the agenda is item R044-25, a resolution granting of local incentives to the Kroger Fulfillment Network LLC and any subsequent assignees or approved affiliates thereof pursuant to KRS Chapter 154, Subchapter 32. Do we have a motion to consider? So moved and seconded. Here to speak to that is the fabulous Joshua McKee.
Good afternoon, Council, and happy birthday, Chair. Joshua McKee, Executive Vice President of Louisville Economic Development Alliance. Kroger Fulfillment Network, LLC, which is a wholly owned subsidiary of the Kroger Company, specializes in same-day delivery services for its customers to access affordable, healthy, and fresh food options. Their project was located at 4325 Robard Lane in District 10 and created 161 new jobs with an average wage of $30 per hour. Their investment into the facility surpassed $4 million. Kroger Fulfillment Network is requesting Kentucky Business Investment Act participation at 1% of the local occupation tax. The company meets all the requirements and compliance standards as established and monitored by the Kentucky Cabinet for Economic Development. Louisville Metro Government and Louisville Economic Development Alliance are supportive of this request for KBI participation.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I will also note that Councilwoman Raymond, in whose district this is, who is not able to be here today, has expressed her full support for this. Council members, anyone with comments, thoughts? Seeing none, this is a resolution requiring a roll call vote. What's that? Oh, we can do a voice vote. We'll do a voice vote. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? All right, seeing none. The item passes, we will move it on to the consent calendar.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, seeing no other items of business before us today, we stand adjourned.